Welcome to the Lululoves Crochet Podcast, episode 10. My name is Emma, and this is my podcast all about crochet, crafts, books, and anything else I've been enjoying. I hope you're all well. It's really, really cold here again today. It's been really cold for the past couple of weeks. In fact, we actually had some snow yesterday, which is almost unheard of. I think the last time the children had a snow day from schools when Lulu was a baby, so that was probably about 8 years ago. Although we didn't have very much, but it is still bitterly cold. So I am very thankful for my new jumper, which I will talk about a bit later. First of all, I would just like to say a big thank you to everyone who left comments on the last episode. You've all been entered into the draw for the Emma mitts and the Anne's flower shawl. So I thought I would quickly pick the winner now. I have been organised and I've written a list of all the comments and numbered them, with the first comment left being number 1 and so on. So I will just quickly with my phone use the random generator on Google just to pick a winner. So there were 72 comments, put that in, and it's come up with number 30. And that comment belonged to Becca Gulliver. So well done, Becca. If you can drop me an email, I will leave my email address in the description box below. I will then forward your details on to Lean, and she will email you the PDFs of the patterns. So that's lovely. If you don't have email, you can also contact me through Instagram or even Ravelry. I'll put everything below. So well done, that's really nice. And I've also, just a minute. Oh, there we go. I've also got a really lovely giveaway to do at the end of the video, full of lots of my favourites. I'm not showing that off very well. I will go through that at the end of the podcast, and that's really just to say thank you. I reached 1,000 subscribers. That was really exciting, and so I've put together a giveaway of some of the things I've mentioned in the previous podcast, some of the things I've enjoyed over the past 4 months. But like I said, I will go through that at the end. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. And I think I will get right in to the crochet talk. The first finished item I have to show you is my Goldenrod jumper. I am absolutely in love with this. I was using the Jarrell Heritage yarn. Again, I'll write that there. I can't remember the shade number. It's worked out beautifully. I've enjoyed every moment working on this jumper, and I'm so happy to be able to wear it finally. I made the small size, and I was using sock weight yarn, I think, and a 4mm hook. I had a couple of little issues, mostly my fault, I think. The first one being, I don't think I was reading the repeats very well. So I ended up, when I was working the yoke a couple of times, I think it was when I was joining the body, I ended up sort of with too many stitches, and I think the reason for that was the pattern would sort of say, give you some instructions and then say repeat 3 times. So I think what was happening is I was doing a total of 4 groups of stitches instead of 3. Again, that's a really personal thing, isn't it? I think it's, everyone writes patterns differently, and I'm not certain there's a right or a wrong way to do that, but I think because it's different to the way I probably would have written it. I think I probably would have put the the directions and then maybe put repeat 2 more times for a total of 3 repeats, or even just put them in brackets and put 3 times. But once I got used to what it was telling me to do, no trouble at all from that. So, and the only other little snag I hit was when I was joining the arms. I think there's a bit of the pattern that calls for you to put a treble crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And then another stitch, and then work a treble into the next 3 double crochets. I think one of the stitches was actually meant to be worked into the puffs. So again, but really small thing. And I didn't make any alterations apart from I've left the sleeves a little bit shorter than the pattern directed. I think I've missed off probably about 6 rows. Again, just because I like mine to be slightly short on my wrist, because I like my cuffs to hang out. And I added one more tiny row to the ribbing there. Again, just to make it match with the bottom of the jumper, really. I may even just add another row to the cuff. Not sure, but I'm so happy with it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. And there are, like I said, there are photos of the sleeve joins and that really helped. So I would definitely recommend that. And I think I would like to make another one really, but I'm not sure I've got the time just yet. But yes, I will try and take some photos and add them into the video, or at the end, so you get a better view. So if I stand up, I'm just going to disappear. But it really is beautiful. It really is. So that's the first thing I've finished. I actually have another finished item to show this week. It kind of came about, it was one of those projects that just sort of happened really. I got sent 4 skeins of this Luma yarn. I'll show you actually, I've popped one into the giveaway box by the Fibre company. It's beautiful. It's a blend of organic cotton, linen, merino wool and silk. It's a double knit weight, and they very kindly asked if I'd like to try some out. So, okay, of course. They did actually send me 4 colours. I'm not sure where I've put the other colour. So I was sort of thinking, oh, what can I make up with it? They're 50-gram balls. It's beautiful, 50% wool, 25% cotton, 15% linen and 10% silk. Really, really lovely yarn. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, the latest issue of Simply Crochet came out, and I already had, or was looking out for it, because there's a series of patterns in here that just spoke to my heart. And it is a series of patterns using ruffles. And this is the pattern that I really, really was drawn to. Look at that beautiful jumper. And I think the ruffles are then worked on after you've crocheted the jumper. I really want to make that. I love, again, the puffiness of the sleeves. That's beautiful. I'm not sure who designed that. I'll have a look. And then there's a beautiful ruffled scarf and a headband. And then lastly, these lovely crochet socks and some ruffled wrist warmers. Anyway, I really want to make the jumper, but obviously I hadn't finished this jumper, so I didn't feel I could do that. The jumper's designed by Hannah Cross. So I had the balls of Luma yarn to try, so I thought I would have a go at the socks, and they are designed by Fran Morgan. Lovely. And again, I only made my first pair of crochet socks a couple of weeks ago, so it's all quite new to me. The heel was slightly different, which again was something that I wanted to try. I think it's what knitters would call an afterthought heel, because you crochet the whole sock and then you add the heel afterwards. Anyway, these are the socks. Look at those ruffles. They are adorable. They are really, really simple to make. And again, these probably aren't the sort of socks that, they're more like bed socks, I think. Maybe because of the yarn. It's so beautifully soft, but I just love those, and they're quite short little socks. So again, I will try and pop some photos in, but that was a really, really lovely, easy pattern to follow. So if you've never made socks, that might be one to try. They're worked from the toe up, just in the round, and it's such a simple little pattern. Then you add the ruffles at the end, and then you go in the heel, and again that was really, really simple as well. So I am really thrilled to have my second pair of crochet socks, and I shall probably wear these as bed socks. The wool is just so soft, it's really special. So that was how that came about, and I worked on these just over a weekend really. I was so eager to try some ruffles out and to have a play with that yarn, which I would definitely use again. I mean, it's beautiful and the colours are lovely. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with those. So I have another pair of crochet socks. I definitely think the next pair of crochet socks that I try, I think I will try and do with maybe a finer yarn and maybe a nice lacy pattern, because like so far I've only really made these sort of cozy bed socks really. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of yarn that you're using to make your socks, how they turn out. I did use the hook that was recommended, the 3.5 I think it called for, and I did check for gauge. I did a swatch first and it was coming up a bit big, I won't lie. I think I was probably about 2 stitches out and a little bit out in the height. So the nice thing about them is with this type of sock is you crochet along until, and then you measure your heel. So it tells you sort of, stop crocheting this far away from the end of your sock. So you're always going to get really the right length of socks. So, which really is my main concern. I don't want them sort of slipping down. So they are probably a bit wider than I would like. I mean, they do look quite big like this, don't they? But again, they fit lovely and they're perfect for sort of evening socks. So, and like I said, it's been so cold here that I have actually been wearing socks again. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. This is issue, I don't know, 68. Just came out, I think, this week. Loads of lovely projects in there. There's a couple of jumpers actually. So yes, I really enjoyed that, and I would definitely recommend that Luma yarn as well. I think what I'm going to do is a little blog post, because they did actually offer to do a discount code for my blog readers. So I think what I will do is a blog post and a sort of a mini review of the yarn, and take some nice pictures of the socks, and then leave a discount code on there. So if you'd like to try that, it's not up yet obviously, but when it's done I will link it below, and then maybe you could get some money off if you fancy trying that yarn. And that is it for finished items. Not too bad actually, because a whole new pair of socks and a new jumper. I'm pretty happy with that. So I will just talk about the only other work in progress that I worked on last week. Obviously there are more, and that is, excuse the noise. That is the Barda top that I've been working on for my daughter, for my eldest daughter. And for this one I was using the paint box DK cotton, and I bought a colour pack which I think was called Fallen Leaves, and it was full of these lovely rusty sort of autumn colours. So this is what I have so far. Now, originally I didn't very lazily intended to just create 2 sides and stitch them up. Well, that wasn't really to be, because she needed a little bit more room around her bust, and so I've worked them all the way around. This hasn't been seamed on that side, and then I've worked them around and left sort of one square and worked for the arms, so you can see it's going to hang like that. So sort of go like that. Now, because I had to add some extra squares, I'd run out, so I've got to make I haven't run out of yarn, I've just run out of squares. So I think I've got to make another, I've got 2 left. I think I've got to make another 6 squares to put another row down here, because obviously I don't want it too short. And then I think I will edge it along the sleeves and then the bottom. But that's coming along, and it's looking really pretty. I really love all those colours, actually. And the other thing I think I'm going to do with this is enter it into the Zeens and Rogers granny cowl. Rosina's doing a granny along. I think that's running from February until mid-March. And I went on and had a look. So I thought, oh, well, this is, although the centres aren't, but the granny stitches, I mean, they're granny squares. And I think the only requirements for her granny along are that you have granny stitches, so groups of the 3 trebles together, or 3 doubles. So I think I might do that, because I've never actually managed to join into a cowl that's still running. So I may well enter that one, actually, because I started it in February, and hopefully it'll be finished by mid-March. So that might be perfect timing. So I will leave the link to the information on Rosina's blog about the granny along if you fancy joining in. I just think that's a really nice cowl, really, because it's really flexible. So that is the only other project I've worked on over the past couple of weeks, really. And I've got another couple of projects that I've been swatching for, but I will share those next week now, I think. And then what else have I got to talk to you about? I'll just check my notes, because I feel I've had quite a lot to say. Oh yes, I did some Etsy ordering a little while ago, and only because I've been making socks and the jumper, I realised I actually needed some stitch markers. Now, whenever I've worked crochet in the round before, I've always just inserted a contrast colour thread and sort of carried that up and crocheted over that, and that's worked fine for me. But with this jumper, you needed to leave markers in for the arms, and then obviously because you're working so many rows, instead of having to go back and count on my way up, I really wanted to mark sort of at row 10, row 20, just so that whenever I picked the jumper up, it was easy to know where I was. So I didn't have any stitch markers at all. So I had a little look on Etsy, and I just wanted something very simple. And I ordered just a little pack of this type of stitch marker. That's from Rebecca's Room. That's the shop. And then I found these, and they come in this lovely little tin. And they're exactly the same, just really simple stitch markers. But they've got these little resin hearts on them. Can you see that? Aren't they gorgeous? So there's a little tin of 5 of them. Look at that. That's so sweet. So I ordered those, and I think they were only a couple of pounds. So now I'm good to go really for jumpers and that. And she also sent a little note with 10% off your next order, but also a free sample of her Simply Solid stitch markers. This one is from the Alligator set. And look, it's a little solid stitch marker with a little alligator print. I don't think you can see that very well. That's beautiful. Now, I don't think you can use these for crochet. I mean, I'm not sure how you would use that for crochet. I think that must be more of a knitting thing. Let me know, because I just can't see how I would possibly use that in a crochet project, because you have to be able to undo your stitch markers when you crochet. As obviously when you're knitting, you're slipping your stitches on and off the hook, so I can see how that would work for that, but I'm not sure about that. So maybe I will pass that on to someone that does actually knit. And then the other thing I bought was a couple of project bags. And this is the first one. I'm really, I found it when I was looking for stitch markers. It's a really lovely big, and I just really loved that monochrome print. And I will just show you who this one is by. The only reason this is by the Woolly Tangle. Again, I found it when I was looking for stitch markers, and she had a couple of bags that were in her sale. So I think this one was about £13. The only other thing I've done is I bought a little stitch marker to go in with the giveaway gifts. And I ordered two from, I think the shop was So Remy. That's a Little Mermaid. You're probably not going to be able to see that very well. That's a Little Mermaid, and I thought that just went really well because obviously I've been reading the Mermaid book. So those are the only things I have bought. That's such a good size for a project bag. Actually, I've just told a fib. There's another little project bag. Look at this. This is what I've been using for my socks, and actually I've just found the other ball of the Luma. That was the other colour they sent. That's really lovely grey. This is just a perfect little drawstring bag for socks, but look at the sugar skull. I really loved that. And these are from Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. I will put all the details below. I saw these on the Crafternoon Treats. I think that's the right one. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. Podcast. She had ordered a couple, but look at that lovely embroidery. I just love sugar skulls as well. So I also bought one of those for the giveaway. And that is it really. I have not been watching anything on TV for the past couple of weeks. I just haven't had the time really to get into anything. But I will quickly show you what I'm reading, and then I will go into the giveaway details. So this was the book that I had started when I'd last podcast, and this is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen, Hermes, Gowar. I finished this and I absolutely adored it. I just really, really loved the story. I will read you the blurb because I realise it's quite hard when you start reading a book to really tell what it's about. I realise I probably should have done this on the last podcast. So I will read you the blurb quickly, and then maybe you can see if you'd like to read it. One September evening in 1785, the merchant Jonah Hancock hears urgent knocking on his front door. One of his captains is waiting eagerly on the step. He has sold Jonah's ship for what appears to be a mermaid. As gossip spreads through the docks, coffee shops, parlours and brothels, everyone wants to see Mr. Hancock's marvel. Its arrival spins him out of his ordinary existence and through the doors of high society. At an opulent party, he makes the acquaintance of Angelica Neal, the most desirable woman he has ever laid his eyes on, and a courtesan of great accomplishment. This meeting will steer both their lives onto a dangerous new course. What will be the cost of their ambitions, and will they be able to escape the destructive power mermaids are said to possess? It was so good. I just recommend it. I won't tell you any more about it because I wouldn't want to spoil it, but it's definitely the best book I've read this year. I mean, I've only read 3, but I still think I will love this for a long time to come. So I definitely recommend that one. And the book I'm about to start is The Comet Seekers. And this one's by Helen Sedgwick. And again, I don't really know much about it. Let me see if this... I'll read you the blurb for this one as well. Roshin... How do you pronounce that? Let's just go with Roshin. Roshin? I feel like I should know that. Anyway, and Francis first meet in the snowy white expanse of the Antarctica, and everything changes. While Roshin grew up in a tiny village in Ireland, ablaze with a passion for science and the skies, and for all there is to discover about the world. Francois was raised by his beautiful young mother, who dreamt of new worlds, but was unable to turn her back on her past. As we loop back through their lives, glimpsing each of them only when a comet is visible in the skies above, we see how their paths cross as they come closer and closer to this moment. Theirs are stories filled with love, hope, heartbreak, and show how strangers can be connected and ghosts can be real, and the world can be as lonely or as beautiful as the comets themselves. So that sounds quite nice. So that's what I'm about to start now that I've finished my Mermaid book, which I'm a bit sad about really because I've enjoyed that so much. And that is it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will now just quickly talk about the giveaway prizes. So if you would like to be entered into this giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave me a comment below telling me one of your favourite things from this year, this past 6 months. It could be book, TV, crochet project, knitting pattern, yarn, anything you want. And I just thought that would be a really nice idea, and then maybe we can all take some inspiration from each other, Anyway, the first prize in the bundle will be the book Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Now, I read this last year. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favourite books. I will leave a link to the podcast where I was talking about it. And it's got this lovely star cover, which mine did not have, so I'm a little bit envious. So there's that. I then have a skein of this croft yarn that I was also completely mad for last year. This is I'm not sure what the shade of this one is really. No. Can you see that? Anyway, look at the colours. That's beautiful, isn't it? So, so there's a skein of that in the basket. I also have a set of the Peter Rabbit fat squares that I discovered last week. There is also a skein of the Luma yarn that I've just tested in this lovely colour. This is called Basil. That's beautiful. I have in here a stitch marker from So Re Me, and it's this beautiful silver cloud. I just thought that was lovely. And then I have this little package, which I'm not going to open, is actually one of the Sugar Skull mini project bags. So that will be in there as well. And then, lastly, I have this beautiful little pin from the Ruffle paper company. I actually ordered myself one of these. It was a Little Mermaid. I think I've obviously pinned it on something, but that's lovely. I thought that was a lovely little gift. and I know lots of people like to put pins on their project bags. I only have one pin, like I said, but I can see how they could be quite addictive. So there's that as well. And the other thing is I will give whoever wins a copy, digital copy of the Bobbles and Diamonds jumper, or if you've already bought that one, then you could have a copy of the courtship shawl pattern instead. So, and that is it for the giveaway. So all of those prizes will be bundled up as one, and it's open internationally, but just obviously it's a gift, and I will put it as a gift, but just be aware of import taxes. If you think you're going to be liable for import taxes, I won't be responsible for those, I'm afraid, but I'm happy to post it anywhere. So like I said, if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning one of those prizes, all of those prizes, leave a comment below. Tell me one of your favourites, and then I will do a similar thing. I will leave it running until the next podcast, which will be in 2 weeks, and I will collate all the comments and then use the random number generator just to pick one person to win those. So, and that's it really. So a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed and watched and commented. I was so happy to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy to have found this community of podcasts really, because yes, it's really lovely just to sort of speak to people that love the same things as you. So yeah, thank you again, and I will be back in another 2 weeks with some more works in progress. Hopefully, and now I feel like I finished this, I've got the freedom to start some more projects, which I'm really excited about. And that is everything I have to say today. So take care, stay warm if you're in the UK, and I will see you again soon. Bye.